My goodness, my gorgeous Pisces, pay attention to this strong, strong, strong connection you are going to have to this particular herb or a plant right at the beginning of this week. You are going to realize within the first 2 or 3 days this week this powerful connection with this particular herb or the actual plant. What I strongly suggest you, this kind of realization is going to come from absolutely nowhere, and you are going to be taken back. You are going to feel surprised. So suddenly you are going to you're going to be walking somewhere, and then you notice this like kind of gorgeous dandelion growing, and as soon as you kind of notice this is going to really kind of become pretty much so a really main focal point at that moment in time, because you're going to feel such a strong connection to that particular plant, and there is a very special and sacred reason for it. You see what I mean? And I will explain what this is. So maybe you're just going to be walking somewhere in the forest, and now suddenly you see this particular plant, particular herb, and this is so amazing to you, and it's so attractive to you, and it's just like kind of calling you and calling you. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's powerless, powerful, but you cannot explain where this is actually coming from. So the bottom line is, however you come across this, maybe you're going to be at home and you're going to be watching something on TV, and now suddenly you notice nettle, and you look at this nettle, and then you like feel very strong connection to this nettle. Maybe it's going to be absolutely beautiful, gorgeous to you. Maybe it's going to be shining really brightly. However this is going to happen, you are going to feel such a strong, powerful, energetic pull towards that plant or towards that herb. What I want you to understand, that there is a sacred reason for it. I already started this. Now, as soon as that happens, and as soon as you start feeling very strong connection to this particular plant or a herb, my gorgeous Pisces, this in itself, it's your sign that you need to immediately kind of really try to find out what the properties of this herb and the plant is. And of course that every herb and every plant has got so many different properties, but through your own energy and through your own understanding, through your own kind of power, to your own energy and understanding, you will be able to understand which ailment is for you. So that herb or that plant is going to make you aware of what ailment you need to pay attention to when it comes to your body. You see what I mean? This is absolutely remarkable. So that's why I'm telling you that this is going to be such a sacred moment in time. Through you feeling a very strong connection to the particular herb or a plant, you're also going to reveal what ailment you need to pay attention to when it comes to your body. So as I said, so it's nettle. Let's say you feel a strong connection to nettle, and you go and find out the properties, and alongside those 100 properties that nettle has, you will be energetically able to recognize how this herb can, for example, help you. And then get yourself a tincture or something, and you will see or maybe tea, maybe get yourself tea, drink it for a while, and you will see how much this is actually going to improve your life, because it's not only about improving your life, but it's about also like kind of like a bringing balance into your life by following these directions from your soul, from your spirit. You will understand that you, my gorgeous Pisces, you absolutely cannot do wrong. And by following this sacred instruction, you do something amazing in this universe. You do something incredible. You go one step up. It is very difficult to explain, but the bottom line is, you don't only heal yourself, but you also at the same time, you reconnect with the nature. And once you reconnect with the nature, you become so much more powerful. Oh my God. So please, my gorgeous Pisces, do not ignore, like once you feel this very powerful connection with a particular herbal plant. Indeed. On another note, my gorgeous Piscelinids, you know what? There is a very kind of special person in your life who is going to have such an amazing impact on you. Somebody who you're going to be thinking about at around the beginning of this week. This particular person is really kind of inspiring you. This particular person has been inspiring you for a while. But then at the beginning of this week, you're going to hear something about this person which is really going to it's really gonna inspire you again. But at the same time, it's not only about being inspired, but it's like through that person you're not only going to be inspired, but you're also going to understand. You will understand that there is something really wise that you're going to gain out of it, like especially when it comes to you feeling too frequently restrained, not making the most out of your life, but also when it comes to understanding that there is so much more to life. And on another hand, what else you're going to understand through this person, my gorgeous Piscelini? This is someone, as I said, who has been inspiring you for a long time, but there is something very specific they will do at the beginning of this week, or you're going to find out about them, which is going to inspire you even more, inspire you even further. And on top of that, through that person, you will open your eyes and you're going to become fully aware of why have you been feeling so restrained for way too long. And that in itself is clearly going to indicate and show the lack of progress that you actually had. And you will understand and you will realize exactly what was causing you to have a lack of progress. You need to be honest with yourself here, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're not going to move on from a square number 1 to square number 2. But my gorgeous Piscelini, the good news is that you are going to be honest with yourself, because this is all going to lead towards you taking a very much so decisive action here. You will understand that you need to take decisive action here in order to restore order, and that in itself it's also going to pretty much so need to that in itself it's also when you're thinking about this at around the same time you are, please do pay attention to the actual synchronicities. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. The synchronicities are going to be more powerful throughout this week in your life than ever, because pay attention to the actual synchronicities at around this time, my gorgeous Piscelini, because the synchronicities are most importantly going to be leading you towards taking this decisive action, and by paying attention to synchronicities, you will gonna be inspired even more. By paying attention to synchronicity, you are going to really kind of realize the hidden potential. This is gonna be magical time of your life. This is going to be a magical time of your life. One thing is literally going to lead to another. Listen to me very carefully. Pay attention to the synchronicities. They are gonna be shining really brightly. They are gonna be everywhere. And they're all gonna be pointing towards inspiration and potential. You're gonna realize, oh my God, the potential, the huge, massive, mind-blowing potential was around you for absolute ages, but you haven't noticed it as such because you were focusing on something else. You were focusing on different things. You were focusing on wrong things. I'm not having a go at you, but I'm just telling you what the lack of how much this was actually, how much of a balance this affected in your life. How balanced, to what extent was the actual balance affected in your life? Indeed. So this in itself, it's gonna lead towards you creating a balance, and that balance is going to give you time also to relax a little bit, to chill out a little bit, to heal a little bit for a few days, to pay attention to beautiful things in life. But at the same time, it's also going to give you a time to reevaluate, what do you need to let go and what do you need to sacrifice as well, and what are you unrealistic about and what you should be most certainly assertive about at this magical stage of your life, at this magical stage of your spiritual journey. And what I also like, my gorgeous Piscelini, how much you are going to impress somebody. Somebody is going to be impressed with with something that you were doing, with some kind of work that you've put in, some kind of energy that you put towards something. And this is going to mean to you so much, because it's going to come from someone who is really powerful, and it's going to come from someone who is really going to surprise you. And I like this so much, because you're going to realize some kind of how unique you are, the essence of your uniqueness. And once you realize the essence of your uniqueness, it's like, oh my God, you need to understand that you really are going through a mind-blowing stage of your lives, because it's bringing you closer and closer to an absolutely monumental realization here. Indeed, by the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Piscelini, but you know what? It's like about, I'm not gonna lie to you, but you know what? You're really going to be disappointed with someone. I'm sorry, almost as if you're gonna feel like someone stabbed you in your back. That's how you're gonna feel here. So you are gonna feel really disappointed with one specific person, and you're gonna feel, oh, for goodness sake, like literally someone like stabbed you in the back, and you're not going to like it. And you know what? You're actually, instead of being so sad or negative about it, do you know what's amazing here? And you're gonna realize this, you're gonna surprise yourself actually here. Because your first reaction is going to be, when someone stabs you in the back, your first reaction is going to be like, oh my God, for goodness sake. But then again, like a minute or two, do you know what? I'm actually glad about this. At least I'm released. At least I'm free. At least I can do what I want to do. That's how you're going to feel. So first of all, you're going to feel like, oh, for goodness sake. And then almost immediately after that, you will realize how much you've actually changed. And the last year you've been through, within the last 12 months, you've been through so much. But only now you're going to realize what an effect things that have been happening to you have had on your life. But when something like this happens, we just become a little bit more sensitive for a second or two. We we reveal our sensitive side for a second or two. Then everything seems to be more like kind of, oh my God, heavy around us. But this is ever so important in order for you to understand how much you've actually changed. So this is going to be brilliant. So you feeling stabbed in the back, this is going to create such a wonderful turning point when it comes to your life. This is brilliant, because it's going to turn into one of the biggest moments of liberation. You're going to feel the creativity you haven't felt in absolute ages, and almost immediately there is some kind of idea on your mind going to be what you want to do and what you want to put more energy towards, and this is brilliant. And as I said, it's like also so important, like what I mentioned before, like that you are going to impress somebody so much, and that in itself, what I mentioned before, that you're going to impress somebody so much, this is going to be highlighted again right now, the fact that you impress somebody so much, and you're going to be thinking about it a lot. And this in itself is like kind of going to highlight some kind of a skill, but the power of you allowing yourself to be yourself. And this in itself is going to reconnect you yet again with your true life purpose. Oh my goodness. And there is going to be lots of like ancestors. Your ancestors are going to be on your mind. Your ancestors are suddenly going to be on your mind. And every single time when you have an ancestor on your mind, don't be surprised, my gorgeous Piscelini. Every single time when you have an ancestor on your mind, or somebody who died and passed away, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to understand that that's the sign that you have to release limiting beliefs. Because you're limiting with yourself something, and then your ancestor comes like, hey, stop that, mate, all right? Your ancestors comes like, don't do that. Yeah, okay, so you're limiting yourself with something. So, it's every time when you're thinking about an ancestor, just try to like kind of reflect on what you were thinking about just beforehand. Or what are you thinking about right after you start thinking about your ancestor? Because it's a lot about you kind of reflecting on that situation and understanding what exactly are you limiting yourself with, my gorgeous Piscelini, indeed. By the time, and also, also, when it comes to the actual midweek, oh my goodness, like, oh my God. When it comes to the midweek, you are going to get a message. And you're going to love this message, because you will know by having this message that something is like about, this is going to be in between the midweek and the last part of this week. So in between the midweek and the last part of this week, you're going to get a message, oh my God, which is going to make so much clear. Why? Because you will understand that some kind of manifestation is taking place. You're about to start, you're starting to manifest something. You're starting to manifest something. You're starting to manifest the life of your dreams. Slowly but surely. You're going to need to work on this. But at the same time, the powerful thing here is that this is going to empower you so much. And I know what an effect on your life this is actually going to have. Okay? The last part of this week, the last part of this week, my gorgeous Piscelini, it's like, you know what? You are going to really kind of face a radical change. And I'm not going to lie to you that in the last part of this week, you're literally going to face a radical change. And that in itself is like the beginning of a very, very powerful transformation. But it's also going to require from you to give up the old to make way for the new, you know. And this in itself means that you are at the start of a very, very interesting cycle here indeed. And I like it because at the same time, illusion, what is illusion in your life, it's gonna be obvious, and it's also what is making you feel dissatisfied in your life, what has been making you feel dissatisfied in your life for a long time. It's also going to be highlighted, of course, and that in itself, it's really going to put you in a mode where you are going to feel like you need to make an important decision. And as soon as you make a decision, you're going to surprise yourself because it's to do with something that you just couldn't make a decision for absolute ages. So now this is going to be the moment of awakening, such a powerful awakening, my gorgeous Piscelini, indeed. So this is why this is so important indeed. So you are going to have such a powerful moment of awakening, you know. And at the same time, this in itself, it's ever so important, especially when it comes to you really kind of restoring balance in your life, but knowing which responsible action do you need to take in order to restore the balance in your life. But at the same time, you are also going to realize something quite important here as well, which is as important. You know what that is? It's time to face your fear. Okay, my gorgeous Piscelini, thank you thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.